Hey there fam, just chiming in here to see how everybody is doing these days. The energies are still very, very intense, and I felt like I wanted to just drop something in here because it's something that I've had people reach out to me about, and something that I also experienced myself. And I realized that if I didn't have the understanding of what was going on and how to work with it and deal with it, I could possibly think that I was going a little bit cray-cray. You know, it's like losing my mind, you know, or losing our minds. What's happening is that we are shifting gears and learning how to walk between worlds. So, you know, you hear me and many other people talk about us making this this journey from, just checking, I'm about to do a coffee enema, but I'm just checking my coffee, that we are making this shift from the 3D into the 5D. So what does that mean? We're making the shift from what's largely been an egocentric, mind-driven paradigm where we've really been trapped in the mental realms. That means analyzing everything, trying to get to the root of everything, trying to figure everything out, you know, and we're moving into this fifth dimensional frequency, which is a frequency of the heart, which means it's a frequency of knowing, it's a frequency of feeling, of surrendering, of our divinity, right? But there's a realm in between that, the fourth dimension. And as we move from the 3D, where we've really been trapped in our conditionings and programmings and the conditioning and the programmings of the planet, as we move from 3D to 5D, that gap in between, the 4D, is really where the analytical stuff can really ramp up. It's kind of like having a foot in two worlds. So you have moments and feeling of absolute expansion, you know, like it can sometimes feel even like you're dissolving, which is a very, very strange sensation when you're kind of used to being, or when you are operating still in 3D, which we all are because we're walking around in it every day. You may have sensations like the simulation is breaking down, is the only way that I can describe it. So for example, for me the other day, I was riding my scooter and I had to actually pull over because everything went pixelated and it felt and looked like I was inside of a video game. Now, understanding what's going on, I'm able to, you know, like wow, you know, be in the wow of it. And at the same time, when that happens, you can feel so spaced out, like really, like, you know, your awareness is so expanded, yet you're trying to function in this physical realm. Does anyone relate with that? So that sensation can be very discombobulating. Now, for me, being a medicine woman and working in those realms, that has been my training, is to learn to walk between those worlds, because that's how I work in ceremony. I have to be able to be in those other dimensions and be here to be able to be in service to my clients at the same time. So I'm a little more adept at it, but still it is really freaky. And as I say, I stay in the wow around it, but it can also be accompanied by this need to not do anything at all. So what I did that day was I turned around instead of going to do what I was going to do, and I drove myself home and I got in an Epsom salts bath for nearly an hour, and then I was almost catatonic for the rest of the day, to be honest. Like I could do pretty much nothing, and that's how it has to be. You've got to give yourself the time, the space and the permission to integrate those big expansive moments. And what do you do? Because, you know, this is a process. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Sometimes you're going to get a big hit of that, and then it can really feel after that sometimes like all of a sudden you're wading through mud, you know, like you feel the density of being in 3D, you feel the density of the physical body, and it's just getting used to a new frequency. It really is. It's just trying it on for size and really training ourselves to be able to live in that 5th dimensional vibration, in that 5th dimensional frequency, while still taking part in the 3rd dimensional matrix that is still very much around. Eventually, I think the whole thing will shift, and the overarching energy and matrix of the planet will return to 5D and even higher. But for a good while, it's going to be 3D, and we are 5D beings in a 3D reality or timeline at the moment. But there's a timeline split happening, right? So you've got people that are going to be splitting off and really gravitating towards other people that are in that multidimensionality. And, you know, through the things that we come together and share and talk about, we develop ways and tools how to navigate that. Ultimately, and this is a whole other video, but ultimately all it comes back to is it's nothing that you can do, because it's something that you are, which is love. It is your light, the power of your light, and the way that you really connect to that is through stillness. Nothing more complicated than that. It doesn't matter how much yoga you do, how much meditation you do. They're all going to help, of course, to anchor and ground you, but ultimately it's practices that bring you back to yourself. That's where the magic is. That's where the remedy is. So, you know, in a way, our soul in its infinite wisdom, when we're moving through these things, and why we are having that feeling of being taken out and put flat on our ass, basically, and not able to function or do anything, is because there's an integration happening. The physical is catching up with the divine intelligence that we are, but it takes a moment for the mind and the body to be able to integrate and calibrate those frequencies, right? So the best advice that I can give to you, and that I give to myself when I'm going through this, I call it chop wood, carry water. Chop wood, carry water. And that just basically means do really grounding things. You know, like, what did I do Sunday? I came home, I got in an Epsom salts bath, and then I baked a cake. You know, it was to have the hands in the food, to have the hands in the you know, to actually be sort of grounded and focused and creating something very normal, you know. Nature is going to be your best friend. Even if you can't be in nature, you can visualize nature, the sunshine, like just getting some sun on your bones. Even if you just go out and play with your plants outside, you know, anything that is just going to help to soothe your nervous system and just bring you back into the groundedness of your body. And the other important thing is to surrender to the process. Try not to overanalyze it and overthink it and try to figure it all out. Like, just celebrate it. Be in the discomfort, be in the wow, be in the weirdness, be in the curiosity. Whoa, look at this. No, 110 gazillion% that you are definitely not alone. There are many, many, many others, and many people that are very highly kind of along, experienced or evolved, whatever you want to say, that have been doing this stuff for a very long time, that are also experiencing the intensity of moving to whatever their next level is. So take heart in the fact that, yeah, it's weird. It's freaking weird out there. You know, this is a massive timeline jump, and that in-between space, that 4D, is where we are 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and we're navigating. Oof, this is what it's like to be in this multidimensionality. Oof, bang, crash. This is what it's like to be in the 3D. Wow, where the hell am I? What's going on? Reality's dissolving. Things are pixelated. You know, it's all a part of, I really believe it's all a part of a very, very natural process of evolution that we're going through. So celebrate it, okay? I hope that's helpful for some people. If you're going through it, drop me a comment below. I'd love to hear about your experiences with this. Yeah, bye for now. Lots and lots of love.